Justice Maqbool Bakir quoted John Stuart Mill saying, and he said, "A state which dwarfs its men in order that they may be more docile instruments in its hands, even for beneficial purposes, will find that with small men, no great thing can really be accomplished."
Okay.
And that is the story of Pakistan since 73 years. Let's talk about,
No, but
the
that
history
again,
of Pakistan.
amazingly, you are telling me about how things might be compromised by quoting one judgment that you agree to, right? So that should imply that the judiciary and the media and everything is free and everything is hunky-dory. You are
Okay,
actually using
let's
one
talk
argument to
about-
undercut the same argument.
The press freedom index, it was 139 when we left, it's 145 today, it's gotten worse. Now you might call it another perception-based index, but these indexes matter. What I'm saying is that we have a history where judiciary has been maneuvered. We've had PCO judges, we've had dictatorships. And
Not
that is
only
the
maneuvered but physically attacked also during your government's time.
I condemn it. I condemn it. It was a wrong move. It should never have happened, and we condemned it even then. So what I'm saying is that we need to move on towards the constitution of Pakistan. We need to discuss with all the stakeholders.
That is very important point that you have actually emphasized, constitution. Ihsaan Afzal Sahab, let me ask you this question. While it seems quite clear, we have a legal expert here. We also have PTI's voice to represent the government. But there seems to be a consensus that whatever happened, it was voluntary affair. And yet, PML-N's narrative that we heard coming from Maryam Nawaz and Ahsan Iqbal Sahab seemed to be very different. It was an accusation against People's Party that it doesn't fight its cases in courts, but it does in front of media. Is it not true that now your party seems to be copying the same pattern?
I think not. I think if the NAB case was so strong, why would NAB seek to cancel the bail? I mean, the proceeding should have continued, and the verdict should have come. And if he would, if his defense was not good enough, the court could have pronounced him guilty, and then he should have been arrested. That is how things work all over the world. But over here, NAB was in a hurry.
You had actually appealed, the procedure, and you had gone to the court for as an appeal, right? So it is not the court that is supposed to indict him or to convict him.
Yes. So basically, I'm talking about the bail. NAB wanted to get the bail cancelled, and it was if the case was so strong, and at this stage where the reference is almost complete, I think proceedings should have continued. And my point here is that it is not normal that after the APC, all of a sudden, Shahid Khaqan Abbasi gets summons from the NAB, Maulana Fazlur Rahman Saab gets summoned from NAB, and then Zardari Saab gets indicted. It is purely, and it is visible to everyone, that after APC, that you are trying to silence this movement. But let me assure you that this movement will not be silenced, but the government has just given more fuel to it.
Rana Sahab, I'm at a loss. You'll have to help me understand. If government actually gets back at the opposition parties, why would the opposition leaders' own council withdraw the application for bail?
As you've already said, that when it seems that it is going to hurt the case, and it was quite obvious that the judgment was going to go for the cancellation of the bail, that is when it was decided that it is better that we take it.
Let me ask Rana Ihsaan Afzal Sahab. Sir, remember those days when Shahbaz Sharif Sahab used to talk about Asif Ali Zardari as if he was the most guilty party in the country, and he used to say that he is going to drag him on streets, and yet now it seems that your party is stating on record that you are going to stand with Asif Ali Zardari and you are going to support him. Help us understand, how do we reconcile this somersault?
We're standing with the opposition party for a cause which is the Pakistani people, that this government has failed to deliver on all fronts, be it economic. There is a massive failure on the economic side, be it governance. We have seen that the type of governance which is happening, it can't be worse with the shuffling and mismanagement in each and all aspects, be it wheat, sugar, everywhere. So we feel that government has failed to deliver, and it is on this agenda that we are together. And when you talk about corruption, I think we should look at the international figures, the Transparency International figures on corruption were, I think in 2013 they were around 140, and we brought it down to 117, and it has risen again to 120. What I'm saying is that when you see that an APC is announced, and all of a sudden all the guns are on the opposition, on all the parties which are going to make this movement successful, and all of a sudden everyone is being called in NAB, and someone is being indicted, and then you see the opposition leader being put in jail.
You have to understand my frustration, sir. You have to understand why I'm at a loss right now. Because your party was the first party that started raising the slogan of fighting corruption. It was your party in 90s, it was your party in 2000s, it was your party in 2020 that kept on talking about accountability. And all of a sudden, when you go out of power, it seems that corruption stops being that serious an issue.
Okay, let's leave what I have to say, and let's talk about different justices who've given their reports during the bail acquittals, during the acquittals of our people from NAB. For example, Justice Bakir, he said that in his 87-page report that NAB is doing political victimization. It is violating human rights. And in his report it states very beautifully a saying of John Stuart Mill, that a state which drops its men in order
when you were in power,